What it do, Grizz Nation? It's your boy, P Shark, here again with the post-game bounce after the Grizzlies just took an L to the Houston Rockets at home, 119 to 115. It was another close loss for the Grizzlies against a formidable opponent in the Houston Rockets. This was a game that was a battle for the 2 seed. You had to return to Ja Morant and return to Santi Aldama for this game. Also returned Desmond Bane had a 1 game absence, so returning him as well. Ja I think missed the last 5 games, and Santi missed the last 6 games. Ja Morant had 27 points in his return, 14 points in the third quarter. But down the stretch, Grizzlies had opportunities. Ja Morant got fouled on the three-pointer. They were down 115 to 112 when he got fouled. Went to the free throw line for 3 free throws, missed the first one, made the next 2. Then the Grizzlies had like 3 opportunities to take the lead, 3 or 4, actually 4 opportunities. They were down by 1. One possession, Luke Kennard, who just made the 3 to get them within 3 at 115 and 112. He had opportunity, missed I don't know how he missed a horrible 3, or hit the side of the goal from the corner. Then Ja Morant missed the open 3-pointer, followed by Ja Morant's drive to the goal where Afrin Sengun blocked the shot, and then Luke Kennard missed another open 3-pointer. So they had 4 opportunities down by 1 to take the lead. Didn't take advantage. Fred VanVleet finally, not necessarily put the icing on the cake or seal the deal, but he had a clutch shot on Luke Kennard to put him up by 3 at 118, 115. After that, couple other back and forth things, but ultimately at the end, the Grizzlies were down 3 with the ball, with a chance to tie it up with then they got the rebound about 87 seconds left. Desmond Bane's coming down the courts. Grizzlies had 1 timeout remaining. Kind of look out of sorts, but yeah, at that point, you pretty much got to let him play. Coach Taylor Jenkins decided to call the last timeout, kind of mid-play. Desmond Bane, of course, makes the shot right afterward, and like Reverend Knight said, it's easier to make the shot after the coach calls timeout. But Taylor Jenkins himself did admit then said after the game that he shouldn't call the timeout. He should just let him play. And I tend to agree with that. Hindsight is 2020. I'm not going to beat him up too much on that decision of all the decisions, but he probably should let him play. The one thing I beat him up on, and it's just a thing, is what he normally is. It's typical. Is what he did. His answer to this question about keeping Ja and Jaren out of the game for majority of the fourth quarter. He was talking about had guys out hurt, getting in rhythm. That's what he do. Like that's not that. He can give that answer, but once a person shows you who they are, believe them, that's what he normally does, especially in the regular season. I'm not finna waste too much time to get too mad or get mad at that. It just is what it is. The Grizzlies got to find a way to win around it. But specifically, Ja Morant left the game. I got it written down here. He left the game with 9:06 remaining in the fourth quarter. And I remember the Houston Rockets took a timeout with 6.5 minutes to go. Coming out of the timeout, I'm thinking, okay, Ja Morant coming back in, he gonna finish the game. He was still on the bench, and not only that, Jaren Jackson went and took a seat. So you had both of them out at the 6:30 mark. I did see he sent them to the scores table. Now they didn't get back into the 3:29-minute mark, but he did send them to the scores table around the 5-minute mark. Another minute and a half of game action went by after they went to the scores table because there was no stopper play. There needs to be a stopper play, foul, something needs to happen for them to get back in. But still, you had a timeout. It was a timeout called by Houston. The Grizzlies only had 1 timeout remaining. So I understand, okay, I can't waste the last timeout just to get them in. But at the 6:30 mark, at least Josh should have came back in and Jaren. I can understand, okay, putting Jaren on the bench, sitting him, but having both of them sit at that time when Desmond Bane kind of was struggling some, he did find he ended the game with 16 points after not even taking a shot in the first half. But yeah, that's Taylor Jenkins for you. The Grizzlies just going to have to work their way around it. Ain't much more on it. I'm not, like I said, keep hitting it dead. Keep hitting the dead nail. He dead horse with the nail or something. I don't know. I can't think of the term right now. I'm not finna keep reiterating the same thing that goes on every single time. So it is what it is. They got to figure out a way around winning around it. Desmond Bane and Santi Aldama need to do better in that moment. That's the real true answer to that because I don't think he's changing that up. Outside of that, 45 points in the first quarter really killed them. I mean, rest of the game, the Rockets scored 23 in the second quarter, 33 in the third quarter, 18 in the fourth quarter. The Grizzlies, after the first quarter, did much better defensively. 4 or 5 points in the first quarter. They were down 45, 36 after the first quarter. Houston had 13 free throws in the first quarter. They attempted 13, went to the free throw line for 13 attempts. Ended the game with 41. It was a foul fest. The Grizzlies had 30 attempts. The game ended at 9:39. Well, yeah, about 9:39, 9:40. The game typically ends. A game that starts at 7 o'clock typically ends about 9:30. That lets you know. It was a lot. It was a very slow game. A lot of foul calls from the referees on both ends. Give and take. It was, I ain't gonna say, it's bad calls in every game. The referees weren't too bad tonight. The Grizzlies kind of dig the holes themselves, especially in this department. And this has been a problem. I actually just wrote an article on this one on Beer Street Bears turnovers. The Grizzlies are last in the league in turnovers. And shout out to my guy, Matt Infield from WMC Action News 5. He put out the stat saying like the Grizzlies were the only team that's in the top 6, or at that time at least, the standings shift every day. But at that time, I think it was like last Saturday. And at the time I wrote my article, actually, Wednesday, I wrote the article. So on January the 8th, I wrote the article saying at that time it was still true with the top 6 and the 8, the top 6 in the Western Conference and top 6 in the Eastern Conference. The Grizzlies were the only team that was not ranked in the top 20 in turnovers per game. The Grizzlies lead the league. At that time, it was 17.4. They had another 20 against the Houston Rockets, so that may have went up. Their average may have went up. It was 17.4 at the time. They were dead last in the NBA, and the only team that wasn't even top 20 in the top 12 teams of the league, technically, or top 6 in each conference, because it might be, you might have the 8 seed team might be better than the 5th seed team in the Eastern Conference record-wise, but top 6 teams in both conferences at that time, the Grizzlies can't even touch them, right, in turnover margin. And to go even further, 8 of those 12 teams take up the top 10 of turnovers per game, right? So it's like, I think the Oklahoma City Thunder lead league in 13 only. Houston was not that far. Like, they was like third with only like 14, and they had 13 against the Grizzlies tonight. So the Grizzlies need to get their turnovers down. Simple as that. I was hoping, and this was Ja's first game back in a while. Also, Santi's first game in a while. Trying to integrate the players, the in and out lineup, trying to integrate them, get them back into a rhythm. But they got to calm down the turnovers. And I know a lot of the fans, and not saying Scottie Pippen ain't a problem, right, with the turnovers as well. But I dug deep into the stats when I had to write the article the other day. Desmond Bane is the main culprit of those turnovers, honestly. Even at the time when Ja was out, he had a game, he had 8 turnovers. He had I think he's had at least like 4 turnovers in like his last 5 games when he's had to handle the ball more. Then he had another 4 tonight. And as a matter of fact, the other 20 turnovers, Ja, Jaren, and Bane combined for 11 of them. Ja and Bane had 4. Jaren had 3. And Ja Morant had 3 assists. So he had more turnovers than assists. You chalk the L to him getting back in the rhythm, trying to get back, get back. I can give him that, but the whole team as a general, Bane specifically, because he's really been turnover prone these last couple of games. And he had some turnovers down the stretch in that 4th quarter that was like a little mind boggling. They gotta do better. Big 3. They gotta do better in these moments. Another growing pain. They need more close games. We say that, but it's time to start executing. They need to actually secure a win. It's not too bad. You got a rematch at Houston on Monday. They got this game at Minnesota. They got opportunities coming up. That's the thing about the NBA, and that's the difference between that and football. You got time. You literally may play the next night, play 2 nights later. You ain't got to wait a whole week for the next game. More opportunities are going to come. So they just got to execute. So not to beat them up too much on a lot of different things, but a couple of things really positive. That was I pretty much hit on all the negative things. The only positive thing I probably talked about was just Ja Morant hitting 14 his 27 in the 3rd quarter. Jaren Jackson ended the game with 6 blocks. He also had 4 in the 2nd quarter when the Grizzlies were down and needed a spark. He secured like 4 blocks and a couple of baskets that got them within 5 to go into halftime. So they were down. They were down double digits, and he had secured, basically got them on a run to get within 5 points at halftime. Which then they start 3rd quarter on a nice run to actually take the lead. Their first lead of the game, or their first lead since the very beginning of the game. They had a lead sometime midway through the 3rd quarter, and then after that, Houston went on a run and went back up by 9 by the end of the third, going to the fourth quarter, and therefore the Grizzlies was just battling it back the rest of the game. So it was an uphill climb for them the rest of the game, pretty much the entire game. Houston liked the better team. They were the better team. They proved it in the end. They got a rematch on Monday. Houston firmly has the 2 seed now. They are 2 games up in the loss column on the Grizzlies, a game up in the win column. So a game and a half up on the Grizzlies for the 2 seed. And they are up 2-0 in the season series. The thing is, the Grizzlies do play Houston twice again this month. So you play them again Monday at Houston. You play them again at Memphis, January 29th. I know the last Thursday of the month. So what's this, 9th, 16th, 23rd, the 30th, I believe. Or 23rd. Actually, I think it's January 23rd. But yeah, they play Houston again. Yep. That's about all I got. Other takeaways, like I said, first game integrating new players in the rematch Monday in Houston. So Grizzlies clean up the turnovers. It's probably just as simple as that. Clean up the turnovers. They can make up a lot of the stuff that happened tonight. So clean up the turnovers. The late game execution offensively looked well. They just missed open shots. Literally, Luke Kennard missed 2 open threes. Ja Morant missed the open 3. Simple as that. Like, you got the shots you wanted. This wasn't one of those. The late game execution just didn't look good. The offense was ugly. They actually got good shots. They just missed them. So, got the shots you wanted. Execute. Cool down the turnovers. And they got it. I'm not too worried about them. It was a downer. They lost this one, but ain't too much to have to truly worry about. So that's it. That's all I got for you, Grizz Nation. Be back with you. I actually have the post-game bounce for that Monday night game against Houston Rockets. So I'll be talking about Grizzlies in Houston again come Monday. Again, this is your boy, Parish Sharkey, the beat reporter for the Memphis Grizzlies for Bluff City Media. Bring you the post-game bounce for Grizzlies versus Houston. Peace.